And now, your nightly news from Dylan's house.
Hello, America. I'm Daniel Turney.
And I'm Dylan Ricketts. Here are your nightly news. As you've heard, Truman had made the final call to drop bombs on Japan that America has been conspeculating for nearly a year. The after effects are nearly too catastrophic to handle. Civilians in Japan are outraged with sadness and anger over their lost family, friends, and even their own lives.
American soldiers and citizens are getting exhausted from the 4 years at war. Back to you, Dylan.
And to you, Alec.
Hello, I'm Alec Jessup. I am here to talk to you about Little Boy and Fat Man, the bombs that took many Japanese lives. Little Boy was a 9,700-pound uranium bomb, and it was that is equal to 15,000 pounds of TNT. These bombs were the first of its kind. No one had ever used an atomic bomb before. Little Boy's main target was Hiroshima, and Fat Man was Nagasaki. And back to you, Dylan.
And to you, Daniel.
Thank you, Dylan. Americans have control of Okinawa and Io, and they are intensely bombing Japanese cities every day. The Allied forces are trying to make Japan surrender, but the Japanese are refusing. The Japanese has an army of 2 million strong, and they are stationed in the home islands, and they are also guarding any invasions against them. The Japanese military do not care about the citizens that live in Japan. They are trying to make a fortress out of Japan to defend anyone who attacks them. The Americans thought when they dropped the first bomb on Japan that they will surrender and the war would be over, but it did not.
Another thing to think about is Truman had a truly tough decision on his hands. Many debate whether what he did was wrong or right, and in the end it comes down to saving Americans' lives, and that is why Truman made the decision to sacrifice the lives of innocent civilians in order to save ours.
Dude, Thank you, Dylan, and hello, this is Alex Moriarty, reporting to you live in the strike zone of Little Boy, here in Nagasaki, on August 9th, 1945. You might want to mark this one down in the good old history books. As I stand here today, devastation is evident, with the death toll reaching approximately 200,000 civilians. After the dropping of both bombs, the bomb had a total range of 5 square miles, destroying everyone and everything in its path. In the short time I've spent here in Nagasaki, I have stumbled upon Susutomo Yaguchi, one individual who actually survived both bombs. He told me his story, which you can learn more about on our 11 o'clock special or on our close friends webpage, www.cnn.com/2010world. And the depressing stories are infinite. Even the survivors have lost something, and that feeling is their safety, or for some, their homes. Call our line 1-800-SAVE-THE-CITIZENS to make small contributions to the innocent Japanese citizens that had nothing to do with the war. Truly a tragedy. Thanks, Dylan.
And now, a preview of our 11 o'clock special with a interview of Mr. Yamaguchi.
Hello, Mr. Yamaguchi. Thank you for joining me today. I understand you would not like your face shown.
Yes, that is true. And you are welcome. I am honored to talk about my experiences of the bombing.
I only have a few questions for you. The first one is it true that you experienced both atomic bombs dropped by America?
Yes, I was out of town for work in Hiroshima when the first bomb was dropped. Then I quickly fled the scene, and when I thought I was safe in Nagasaki, it was also bombed.
I'm very sorry to hear that. Can you explain what happened and what you felt?
In the first explosion, my eardrums were ruptured, and my upper torso was burned really bad. Then, when I got to Nagasaki and I was telling my story to the people there, suddenly the same light had filled the sky. I thought the mushroom cloud had followed me.
That's frightening. My last question is that I've heard you spoken out against atomic weaponry. Is this true?
Yes, I have. The bombs hurt me bad and ruined my home and my life. I do not want any more people to suffer the way I did and all the other Japanese people.
Thank you so much for this interview, sir.
My pleasure. Now, to your new president, Harry
In the
Truman.
following scene, we have an undercover interview with Harry Truman, our President of the United States, and his output on making the decision.
President Truman! Oh, hello, young fellow. How are you?
Fantastic. Would it be a bother if I asked a few questions?
Not at all, sir. Go ahead.
I was just wondering, I keep up in politics quite much for my age, and I was just wondering about what was going through your mind when you decided to drop not one, but 2 atomic bombs on Japan?
Well, young
young lad, that is a very sore subject. I only like to discuss things one time. I will discuss it once with you. The droppings of the bombs on Japan have been thought over for a very long time, and it was not just an overnight decision. I thought about the lives that would be at stake if I dropped the bombs, and I thought about the lives that would be at stake if we went to war with them. And I figured if I dropped the bomb, dropped 2 bombs on Japan, then I would kill less people than going to war with Japan, because everybody knows that they would not quit. And that's more where my mentality came from. I was trying to save the lives of the people of Japan. And I would just like to say, I'm sorry for my actions, but that is the right action for the moment. Okay?
Truly an honor to meet you, and I am pleased to tell you that this was actually an undercover interview with CNN News.
Will it be going on air?
It may, as a commercial, to show the thought that really went into this, and then it was not a spur of the moment, spontaneous decision.
Thank you, sir. I will be glad to accompany you in your expertise.
Thank you.
And to you, Daniel.
And to you, Alec.
And back to you, Dylan!
Thank you, Alec. On the last note, if the roles were changed and Japan dropped the bomb on America, history would be taught differently in our country. We would teach how Japan was a mad country who killed 100,000 innocent civilians, instead of teaching how Japan was just trying to defend itself, which is what we teach today, that Americans were being on the defensive side.
Thank you for tuning in from Dylan's house.
Stay classy, little buzzards.